Welcome to this video. Here we will show you how to monitor your operation using the web app. This video requires a supervisor or network controller account. The features available on the monitoring web app are: find a weld, modify a weld details, accept, reject or set a weld for remedial, generate a weld certificate, and finally, export data. The monitoring dashboard is accessible from the following website: realtechtraceability.azurewebsites.net. To have access, you will need the following types of accounts. Enterprise Supervisor. This account allows you to review the weld of your company. Customer Supervisor. This account allows you to review welds that your company subcontracted to other companies. Network Controller. This account allows you to review welds casted on your network. Depending on your account, you will operate on the welds at different levels. The welds that you can see depends on the company you belong to. As an enterprise supervisor, you can see all the weld casted by your company. As a company supervisor, you can see the welds casted by another company if they specified that you are the client. And finally, if you have a network inspector account, you can see the welds that welding companies have casted on your network. Please note that if the network has its own welding division, it is considered as an independent welding company. And in addition, depending on your role, there are others limitations on the welds that you can see. This diagram shows the validation flowchart of a weld. As an enterprise supervisor, you can see the welds directly after their creation. You will be able to edit the welds data until the next parties have input their inspection result. If you have no client and work directly for the network, the principle is the same. Now let's have a look at customer supervisors. The difference there is that you can only see the weld once it has been internally accepted by your subcontractor. Things are similar for network inspector. They can only see the welds that have been accepted by previous parties. They will see welds that have been accepted by the client if a client was involved, or the welds accepted internally by the welding company if there were no client. Now that I have explained you the principle, let's look how this monitoring dashboard really works. Open to the website and input your credential. After connection, the web page shows the main table. It is divided into 4 areas: weld details, location and types of welds, who cast it and when, and finally the results. For better reading, each column can be sorted by clicking on the header. Up to 100 welds can be displayed per pages. The filtering box on the top right is designed to quickly filter data. If you want to look at weld casted in the worksite Saltum, just input Saltum. You can also type a welder name and combine it with a location. An efficient way to find your weld is to look for the network, client or contract number. If you look for a term having a space, you should use quote, network Z for example, else it will display all weld having both network and Z. The last column shows the status of the weld. Each weld status have a color depending on your role. Blue means the weld is not finished. Orange means the weld need to be inspected. Red is a non-conform weld. And green a conform weld. Dark gray is weld removed from the track. And finally, light gray is a weld that do not concerns you. By clicking on the action box at the right of each welds, you can modify the weld record, change the status of the weld or edit certificate. There are 8 actions buttons to select the weld status. If your client do not use pandrolconnect yet, his own inspection result won't show automatically, then we advise you to pre-accept the weld after your internal inspection, accept once your client accepted it. By clicking on the action box at the right of each welds, you can modify the weld record. This menu allow you to modify various data, for example the location, or the conformity of the weld. This weld is going to show as not conform on the main board. The comment section is very useful to communicate about a weld, and to follow comments of other parties. An enterprise supervisor can write in the welder, grinder and company manager box. Customer supervisors and network controllers also have their own box. Here another example. The supervisor can add a defect, set a weld not conform and reject it. He just needs to click on action, then visual inspection and add a defect in the defect list. Then, he clicks on action again and click on reject. Each time a user modifies the status of a weld, a message is automatically written in the comment box. Finally, you can generate a PDF certificate. Click on Action, then on Certificate. The file is automatically saved in your download folder, but you can also open it directly. Of course, if your customer is using pandrolconnect, you may not even need to download it because he can access the data directly with the app. The last feature is the exportation of the data. The file is generated by clicking on Export CSV. This is a CSV file. It has many columns so it is not easy to read. So we advise you to use the Excel template provided. Just click on Update, select your file and press OK. Your data will be formatted as you need them to be. That's it for this video. All this feature have been showed using an enterprise supervisor account, but this is the same with the others accounts. Thank you for watching, and now, why not have a look at the mobile app and the administration board? Any question, as usual, Just ask on PandrolConnect pandrol.com.